online here in just a moment.
Okay.
That says live.
Well, we're on a delay. So go. So while Bryce was so rudely interrupted by Time Warner Cable or Spectrum, go ahead and hit it, buddy.
Okay. Yeah. So a great artist named Norm Brayfogle passed away 8 days ago, and I think we should recognize his immense talents for his contributions not only to DC Comics, but in other areas. But I loved his DC Comics work, especially if you're seeing the cover that he did for Detective. It really evokes Hammer horror films for me. When I would look at his artwork, I thought he was innovative, and I mean, it's beautiful. So if you have a chance to check out Norm's work on any of the Detective Comics or Batman that he did, he will be missed.
His style lent itself real well to the Batman character. I know he's done other books and everything, but just that very Halloween style. I don't know. It works well, and he was only like 50.
58. Yeah. Yeah.
So
our sincere condolences to his friends and family. Great artist.
Talent gone. Anyway.
Yes.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the rest of the show. You know how we'll start this thing off. Let's kick it off with some super cool nerd news. All right, guys, super cool nerd news. Now, this week was happy for a couple of reasons. Now, I did not get to report on this because a friend of mine got me in last minute, but they basically had a toy retail show here in Dallas. You got to see some new products coming out, and it was pretty fun to attend. But they had a special surprise because Jason felt 5 years old again when none other than the man himself, well, the giraffe himself, Jeffrey, came walking down the aisle. Yes, Toys R Us Jeffrey the giraffe, and he was wearing a little cape that said, "Back from vacation." Because Toys R Us is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so basically, here's the deal.
Resurrected.
A clause in the contract did state that they would be able to rebrand. Basically, after we've squeezed all the money we can out of this property, we'll let you guys come back. So, yeah, that's something for vulture capitalists. Now, they can come back as soon as possible, and they are planning a quick relaunch. The only problem is, though all those stores are empty and they currently have Halloween or spirit stores in them right now, all those properties did have to sell as part of the contract. So they have to basically rebuy and set up leases for all these stores. So we're not going to have a launch before Christmas. However, they do have a plan to introduce another like pop-up stores inside of what they say is going to be a major retailer, and it's going to be called Jeffrey's Toy Box. So basically some exclusive toys will be in there, things that maybe you could only get from Toys R Us. Now, what store is this going to be in? A lot of people are speculating it's going to be in Target. I don't think so. I actually think it's going to be Walmart, because recently Walmart did announce a Toyland area, but they haven't really done anything with it. They put up a couple signs like Toyland, but it's still the same aisles and everything, but they've been widening their aisles and everything. And I think they're actually going to enter some sort of pop-up deal with Walmart to just put the Jeffrey's Toy Box in there. That way they can get some of that Christmas cash. So, and that could happen as early as November. So, guys, and basically the reason they were able to do this so quickly, no one bought out anything for Toys R Us. No one basically bought out the rights. So they just kind of, okay, well, if nobody wants it, to give a visual aid for that. So, yeah, Toys R Us could be coming back, possibly looking at like spring of 2019. We'll start seeing stores, actual brick and mortar stores popping up again. So I'm happy because these past few months without Toys R Us, just I gotta get my fix, man. Where are my toys? I can't deal with these 2 aisles of Target and Walmart. There's nothing here. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. Anyway,
you need to fill your shopping cart.
I need something. I miss Toys R Us, and like I said, you never know. You're like, it's gone, but hey, they're coming back. Awesome news. Anyway,
do you want me to push you around in the shopping cart when they reopen?
Absolutely.
You want to sit in the front?
We need video of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, that'd be so cute.
Like running down toy aisles, laughing
like
maniacally.
some happy music. I can actually skip through the aisles and just
We
like
need Super Mario 1 music behind that, I think.
just a twirling camera of me just spinning around, just like.
I'm done. No, keep going.
No,
That's
stop
great.
giving me that look.
And with that, what have you got for news this week?
All right. So we talked about toys. Now we are going to talk about TV, specifically the DC universe. It was announced, and we got a kind of teaser trailer for the new Harley Quinn show. It will be on the DC universe, which is great. We have Harley in her iconic hat, little jester hat.
Whatever that thing
What
is.
we do not have is an
Harley
accent. Kaylee Cuoco will be voicing the character. She does not have her classic New York accent, which is a little strange.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a Harley that didn't have that particular accent. That being said, she looks like she's having fun. She looks like she's ready to get into some shenanigans. And she looks like she's excited, which is absolutely fair. We also didn't see any sign of the Joker, which I'm kind of excited about. Because Harley and the Joker also obviously have this very iconic relationship. But
Is that what we
Harley's
call that?
it's iconic.
Okay.
It's abusive and messed up, but it is iconic. But I'm ready to see her kind of without the Joker and see how she handles that. She was hanging out with Poison Ivy, which is kind of her other person.
There's a couple more, like, people that she's been,
She
like, involved
hangs
with.
out with. What I am excited about with Kaylee Cuoco, she is voicing Harley. She's also producing, so this is being produced by at least one woman, which is more than we can say about most superhero things. Also on the cast, we have announced Lake Bell, Alan Tudyk, Ron, I think it's Funches, JB Smoove, Jason Alexander, Wanda Sykes, Giancarlo Esposito, Natalie Morales, Jim Rash, Diedrich Bader, Tony Hale, and Chris Maloney.
Holy
All of
What?
those are announced
crap!
for this cast. I'm down. Like, you give me those voices, and yeah, I'm pretty much sold.
Wanda
off of just that.
Sykes?
Wanda Sykes, Chris Maloney. He was Law and Order at SVU for a long time.
Well, he's on
Never
Happy.
cared about him, but he's on Happy now, and I love him so much.
Happy is amazing.
Happy is amazing. And at some point, you're gonna see a cosplay.
You know,
It's
I
gonna be
saw
fun.
the trailer for it on they first released on Instagram,
Yeah.
and I don't hate it, except, and former member of the show, Des.
Yeah, I saw
and Osmond.
her.
Yeah. Look, there's a way DC loves to like take little jabs at the Harley Quinn. Like, I love Poison Ivy. They're gonna hate it. They hate everything.
They
It's like,
always hate it.
oh, I was like, just throw more salt out there. Why don't you? Just, you know. But I don't hate it. Although, was Tara Strong really not doing anything? Couldn't
No,
have got-
Tara Strong was doing things. I think
that's
that
why
was the Tara Strong is always ridiculously busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's difficult
She
to
can't
sign for
ever
an entire
hang out
thing.
anymore.
Yeah.
Every time I call her, she's like, "I'd love to
She's
get
just
coffee,
like, "But I'm so
like,
busy."
I'm so busy."
So
Yeah, sure.
I think there's a chance she wasn't available.
Okay. Like I
think
said,
so,
I
too.
don't hate it. I'm kind of
I'm
interested.
okay with it, and I'm
Especially after that cast. Holy.
seriously like I'm definitely gonna watch a few episodes just to see.
Giancarlo Esposito has one of my favorite voices on
And-
TV.
If you don't know who he is off the top of your head, that's absolutely fair. Breaking Bad, he was Gus Fring. He's one of the best bad guys of all time. He was also in Once Upon a Time. He was in
Just a very
lots of other
smooth
stuff. He's
voice.
so good. And
We
his
saw one
voice
of
is
his
so pretty.
panels.
And
it
Alan
was
Tudyk.
breathtaking.
Like I was actually about to say the one that I'm excited to see what they're
What
gonna
role?
what
Yeah.
are they gonna put him in? He's so varied.
He,
He
could
went
be
to
a
Juilliard.
chicken.
He, could
He
be
went
a
to Juilliard to be a
He
chicken.
could be a guy with 23 different personalities
He could be
in his
anybody.
head.
He could literally be.
Scary.
Hashtag dollhouse
Dollhouse.
spoilers.
He was so good in
He was
Dollhouse.
so
Oh
good.
my god!
He was also surprisingly ripped in Dollhouse.
Right?
Surprisingly,
I always
a
think of
little
him as
bit
small,
like
he's not-
sexy.
Yeah.
Like it was upsetting
For
but
a crazy person?
Joss Whedon just like let him loose,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of hyped for this. Like, I think it's going to be interesting. Definitely going to tune in for a few episodes just to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diedrich Bader.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, Diedrich Bader, I mean,
He's great.
another, like, voice actor that's just, he can do lots of things.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
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 And it will they bring the Joker in just for one episode?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they will.
I mean,
Yeah.
and will they have Archie and Edith? Will they go to the Archie and the Edith?
Maybe.
And are they gonna have the puppies?
But we don't need voices for that.
Alan Tudyk. can
I
do
mean,
that.
That's what
I
Alan
was gonna say
Tudyk's
Alan
voice
Tudyk,
is.
or they could just call it Matt Mercer and be like, "Hey, can you do hyenas? Of course you can. Come on over."
Or call
You can be
Allison
one.
to do
You can be
crows,
one
yeah.
hyena, and then Alan Tudyk will be the other hyena.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would be down to watch the recording of that.
Matt
body.
Mercer and Alan Tudyk, absolutely,
Yeah.
Yeah, the hyenas from The Lion King. I remember.
totally.
Mhm.
Whoopi Goldberg.
And then the other two.
Cheech Marin.
It didn't matter. What?
Probably Frank Welker.
Cheech Marin was the other hyena.
Was it?
Oh,
There's
really?
Three of them.
I don't know who was the other one, but
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure Ed was just, they went to an asylum, held out a microphone, and were like, "Hey,
No,
Yeah.
it was somebody
You, Grip, come over here and do this
that's
voice.
so
It was
weird."
anybody.
And he just did the.
Alright.
He never said anything except that one time. I think he said one thing, right? Anyway.
maybe.
Anyway. So, Bryson, what have you got for us this week?
Okay, so Netflix is doing something very different for television. They're playing around with the idea of the choose your own adventure model for television that you have done, I'm sure, at one time or another as a child, reading a book, choose your own adventure, which they've already tried doing it and to some level of success with children's programming and a Puss in Boots show, where you can choose whether the feline fights a god or a tree. So they've already established that it can be done. Hopefully, when this opportunity comes for viewers to do it with the Emmy-winning anthology series Black Mirror, we will get some interesting
Really?
programming
They're doing
with a
it with
choose your
Black
own.
Mirror?
Yeah, they're going to do it for one episode to start off with. So they're saying that the time is right for interactive TV to become a mainstream experience. And so they're going to do one episode on the upcoming 5th season of Black Mirror. And it's supposed to be happening sometime in December, I believe, is when it's supposed to premiere.
I have so many questions. The main one is how?
Well, the tricky part is trying, from what I've read, is how are you going to compensate actors, directors, all these people who have to spend more time on set filming
A
all
lot
these
more
additional
time.
scenes? You know, how far do they go with
I mean,
this?
It has to be at the climax. They have to be most of the way through it, right?
Or they just shoot it like a video game, like the Telltale one.
That's going to be a long one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Telltale did great with that.
I'm just wondering how is the
Right?
selection going to be? I know
Right?
everything's interactive.
Right.
Rude.
So, I
Wasn't
mean, the
that a good idea?
technology is
Yeah.
there, but
No, there was somebody who was trying to do this, and I feel like it was.
Oh, it was that director that you love that hated something, the iPhones, but then he then he shot something with an iPhone.
I love this description. That
It was
she-
like
I
Baz
just love it.
Luhrmann.
The Ocean's
or
11 director.
Ridley Scott.
No, it was Soderbergh.
Oh, Steven Soderbergh.
We spend way too much time together.
Soderbergh.
Yeah.
There's two.
Okay.
Anyway, he was trying to do something like this with HBO, and I thought it was interesting that somebody who had been so specific for their
Yeah.
entire directing career, like you will do things this way, they will be viewed this way, who wanted control over every portion of the experience to be experimenting with something where the audience chooses. It seems almost counterintuitive, but also respectable that you would break free of your barriers.
Yeah, it's very innovative. I mean, you know, it's easy to do in a book. You're just flipping pages. This is entirely different. And Netflix is stating they will be developing a slate of specials with the same model in either a TV episode or a movie. So they're not limiting themselves to just one TV episode. So it's, you know, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I can see where maybe screenwriters would be like, I just want to write my story the way
It's
I
like
want to write
every
it.
what if question
I
they
mean,
have. Just
It really it's gonna have to go like a video game,
Yeah.
because that's and video games are a lot more work and take a lot more time. But
It worked out so well for Telltale.
that's what she said like 5 minutes ago. And y'all are both right. Both of y'all are rude, but both of y'all are right. Yeah, like, it doesn't always work out, but there are plenty of video games that do that, so.
How are we rude? What
No,
happened?
not you.
No, her.
Kat and Jason.
For
Oh.
saying it worked out well for Telltale.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
too
the people-
soon. It's been like a week.
The
A bunch of people got laid off, you jerks.
That's not my fault. I'm not insensitive to that. Hopefully, most of them. I heard they had some
We're
good job
like
hiring.
sirens in the ocean. We're just warning people and laughing hysterically.
There's gonna be some
when it
warnings,
goes
all right,
awry.
today.
Are we, wait, are y'all sirens or banshees?
More
Sirens.
on that.
I'm a siren. I'm no banshee.
More on that, Kat.
No, not yet. I think it's Bryce's turn.
Bryce just went.
Bryce just went.
Yes,
Cora.
I was listening.
What have you got for us?
Okay.
So tired.
Thanks, Kat.
Kat wants
Alright.
Bryce to go twice.
All right, so we got Mega Man 11 just this past. Yeah, just not too long ago. I believe it was. Was it this week or last week?
It was this week.
It was this week.
It looks so good.
It's so beautiful. Oh my god. But we got Mega Man 11, but that's not the only Mega Man news that we got. We also got news of a Mega Man live action movie.
Okay. Okay.
Now, to be fair, it has a lot more credit. It has a lot more going for it than the DDR movie does. Which, by the way, that's a thing. But
We're not laughing at you. Just her reaction to you.
What did I miss?
I'm going to clip that out of the show tonight. No, when you said a Mega Man live action movie, Cass just went like, oh god.
Oh man. But yes, we are going to be getting our Capcom has officially announced that we're going to get one. It's going to be written and directed by Henry Joost and Errol Schumann, who were the directors for Paranormal Activity 4.
This gets
that
worse and
connects.
worse.
Two of the producers that are let's see, Churden Entertainment is going to be the producer for this movie, which they're known for the Planet of the Apes series. So okay, there's
Okay, we're good there.
Okay.
We're good there.
Sure.
But it's also going to be produced along Masai Oka, who was the producer for the Hollywood Death Note adaptation, and oh my god, that was
Great, guys.
I'm the conductor of the poop.
no. Now,
Oh my
I want to
God.
have faith in it. I really do, because I do like Mega Man a lot. And it has some merit to it. Like, they have an opportunity to make this decent.
I'm
But-
sorry.
Are you done?
I'm not. No, but please continue.
It has the opportunity to be decent. It really does, and I want to hope that they do. What I'm hoping that they're going to do is that they're going to go all ham on it like they did with the Speed Racer movie, because I really like that movie. It's so super cheesy and over the top, and that's exactly what
That's what
you
you
want.
need.
Yeah.
And it needs to be like that. It needs to be something that doesn't take itself too seriously and just goes ham. Because if you've ever played a Mega Man game or at least seen the photos,
Time to get
It-
serious.
it's so cheesy. It's brightly colored.
Extra.
It's fun. It's extra.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it, and I want them to do that.
I
But
wish
then,
my computer was working so I could see the chat.
but then on the other end of the spectrum, we also have, like, this is just getting thrown in here now, a DDR movie coming out. That was announced. And essentially all I get from it is post-apocalyptic Footloose. That's it. That's
Wow.
it.
You know what? I'm on board for
I'm here for it. I'm
post-apocalyptic
totally here
Footloose.
for
And
it.
like, one of my coworkers had mentioned that if this were a movie about an over-the-top like DDR like tournament competition, everyone would be down for that, because that makes sense and that would be fun. But instead, we're getting, in a post-apocalyptic world, the only way to survive is through the power of dance. Like, okay, I'd have to get a shot of just everybody. So we got those were two video game trailers, or not trailers, we have no trailers. Two video games that got released this week as movies. I wonder which Mega Man do you guys think that they're gonna go with? I kind of hope they go with X because I think that would be easy.
No.
X4 with his girlfriend.
No, we need original Mega Man because this is going to be bad.
I want Mega Man 2.
I have low expectations. Okay.
I want Mega Man 2 with the mini bosses
Dude.
and the boss.
What if?
All you have
what
to do
if?
is say somebody attached to freaking Death Note.
No. What if they use the design from the original Mega Man art box?
No, that's
I don't even know
no.
what that looks like.
I will find a picture for
Oh.
you. While I look for that.
So while we
While-
try to regain
Yeah, while I'm
composure-
looking for that, hey Kat, you got some video game news I think now, don't you?
I do. I have video game news. This week in video game news, Overwatch released several things. They released a commercial with a short video of Jeff Kaplan, the I don't know, the cinnamon roll of Blizzard, who does all their announcements and stuff.
Game director or something?
Yeah,
Kaplan?
one of the game directors.
Yeah, Papa Jeff.
Putting together a little Tracer Lego miniature, and then it dashing around. It is the cutest thing.
I posted on our
love it.
Facebook page, by the way.
It's amazing. It's going to be amazing. They've announced they're doing 6 characters, and there's been hints that the next one they'll announce is Winston, but we don't know for sure. So that is part A of Overwatch news. Part B, today, Overwatch released 2 of their skins for the Halloween event that starts next week.
Woohoo.
Halloween, it's Junkenstein's Revenge. It is my favorite event of the entire year. I love the game you get to play with a PvE environment, just shooting a bunch of zombies. It's so fun. I can't wait to play it. And they released 2 skins today. One of them was Swamp Thing Doomfist, immediately renamed by the community to be Doomfish.
I love that so much.
I mean, there was no choice on this one.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
always
gonna
gonna be
happen.
Doomfish.
And it is beautiful. Guillermo del Toro would be proud
Yes, he
of
would.
this.
Okay, I
Just-
wasn't. It looks like buff Fishman, and I love it
Yeah.
so much.
It's not.
I'm just gonna skip that joke.
It's got a butt.
Yeah.
He better have a
And
nice butt.
it had Shape of Water
Yeah.
tones to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the first Doomfist skin I've ever wanted. Funny story, I bought Doomfist Golden Gun on day 1 as a practical joke because we talked about it and I never play Doomfist. But I want this skin. The other one that we got today was Moira's Banshee skin. Now I'm going to talk about this for a second. I have seen multiple news stories where they're like, oh, it's Moira's new, witch skin.
What?
Okay, I've seen this a lot. I thought it was a witch skin. I wasn't excited to see it, and then I saw this is a banshee skin. And as far as like cultural importance goes, I understand that Irish people are way down on the list. There have been a lot more cultures that have survived a lot more than we have. And I speak as somebody like my mom's maiden name is O'Brien, right? Like
We're
Irish.
super Irish.
And we don't have a lot of characters to look at and think are cool. Moira is a red-headed Irish Gaelic-speaking scientist villain and is one of the coolest characters I've ever seen in a video game. And all of a sudden, Irish representation became important to me. Like I said, I know there's a lot of people who have it a lot worse for a lot of reasons, but this is not a witch skin. This is a banshee skin. And if you don't know what a banshee is, go look it up. It's pretty interesting as a story. They're
Very.
keeners of death. I want to hear if they're going to do anything. Banshees wail and scream when death is near. I'm wondering if they'll change her ult line.
That'd be really interesting if they gave her a banshee wail.
That would
Yeah.
get old because I would want to hear somebody just keep screaming over and over.
Well,
again.
it's not okay. So banshee
Glad
wails.
ults don't happen. all the time.
To jump off of cats, because I'm also very
Pretty
Irish.
Irish.
I'm actually apparently most Irish people now have brown hair and green eyes. So,
I'm not a good Irish. Underneath, I have red hair.
but with banshees, their wail isn't necessarily a scream. Like when you hear, like think about when you hear someone crying and you hear just that exasperated, like dry wail of someone who's been crying for a long time. That's a banshee. Banshees cry. They're not screaming. It's more of a cry.
Kind of like when I
And-
realized I can't buy liquor on Sunday.
Exactly.
Ah, okay.
Very, very perceptive.
They used to, the legend, the myth, whatever, possibly comes from the fact they used to hire mourners for funerals. Used to be a big deal. And, yeah, there'd be, like, old women that's all they'd done for their entire lives as a profession, would show up and, like, cry at funerals. So sometimes they're seen as, like, old hags. Sometimes they're seen as spirits. Sometimes they're seen as, like, young virgin or whatever. There's no visuals precisely for what they look like, so the Moira skin is spot on for what they might have looked like.
It varies just as much as people do, which
I
is
like the
wonderful.
Celtic, like, marking
I
looking
love
stuff
that.
on her face.
No spoilers, but go watch Teen Wolf.
Potentially no spoilers. Teen Wolf is a way
Go
better
watch
show
Teen
than
Wolf.
it had the right to be, and there's some interesting cultural
There's
elements.
a lot of they talk about a lot of different cultures in Teen Wolf, and Celtic mythology is one of the mythologies that they address, along with Japanese mythology, which
Well,
is
they
super cool.
portray a lot of it.
They
They don't
portray.
just, like,
They don't sit around
It's
and
not
be like,
boring.
"Did you know?"
Anyway.
No, they have a lot of different types of creatures. Speaking of remakes,
This got just into a cultural talk.
yeah,
I told you I was going to rant, in all fairness. That's the end of my news story, though.
Well, that's it for Super Cool Nerd News, but we do have what's going to be a non-spoiler, but we've all been kind of wondering. We've told them to pretty much shut up until the cameras go on. So, Bryce just
tell
now
us.
went to go see Venom. So, right now, buddy,
Tell us why you should go see this movie, Bryce Culver. Why? I'm going to have a hard time answering that question for you. If you like superhero movies, Venom is your movie if you hate superhero movies. It might be something that's up your alley. I will not be recommending this film.
Ooh.
I did not enjoy myself. I was bored! Venom should have been more violent. Again, no spoilers. There were a couple of characters I absolutely hated. Tom Hardy is not to be blamed. But, Tom, you should have exerted more force on the set to get more good stuff. Because this was boring. I will say, hang on. I will say, hang on for a post-credit scene that is, yeah, hug him all you want. It's not going to make it much better when you get to the theater. There's two post-credit scenes that are better than the movie.
Oh,
So
that is
stay tuned for that.
sad.
If you want to, if you have the patience, if you have the time, there's a lot of credits that roll by for a movie that's not very entertaining. It takes a long time. But anyway, I will say this. Parts of it are better than Spider-Man 3.
That's
not
not
a
a high bar.
I know. I
hey,
know.
where's the bar? I don't
yeah,
see it.
yeah,
Where-
right? Yeah, it's very
Where's,
low.
where's the
Low.
bar? Is it,
Very low.
oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait! Oh, there
Yeah.
it is.
It's a speck.
Yeah, if you have a favorite Tom Hardy movie that you
Ooh.
really like to watch, stay at home and watch that.
Mad Max.
I'll let you,
Ooh.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dang.
Yeah.
Inception.
Inception's a good
So
one.
I'll just say this: if the CGI had been better, and if the climactic scene that most people will want to be great, if that could have been better and less murky and more fun to watch and more easy to interpret for CGI reasons, well, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
Hey!
Hold on.
Can I
I
get
can
a,
rip that up.
can I
There
get
we
a
go.
5? Can I get a rating on 5? What would you give it on a 5 scale?
Hardy is entertaining during two scenes that I really enjoyed, and that lasts for about 5 minutes, and it's an hour and 45-minute movie, maybe. So, what is? I don't know what the percentage is on that. 3/4 of 1 star.
Oh.
Something like
Oh.
I like superhero movies. I want to stress, I like superhero movies.
Is anybody else planning on going to see this rather soon? I would like a point counterpoint review.
I don't think I find it unlikely that you're going to get a really strong counterpoint after that review.
I have heard 2 reviews of it.
I've seen a couple.
I've heard multiples, and I've seen some extended scenes.
I will say, in recent history, I have disagreed with many people, specifically on superhero movies. That's all I'm going to say for now. But it's possible, it's not likely that I will disagree.
Justice League.
Feel
Was
free.
Sure.
Justice League was
Justice
good.
League was better than Thor Ragnarok. Drop Mike Buckley.
Feel free to disagree if you like. It's just not my cup of tea.
Wow.
I don't.
I mean, I heard I read a lot of reviews comparing Tom Hardy's performance to like every Jim Carrey movie possible, and I was like, "Oh, that's not a comparison you
That's
want
a
for
rough
Venom.
one.
That's not a comparison you want for Venom."
I
Well,
will say this also
that's a
that I
bummer.
forgot to mention. The dialogue for me is a little stilted. It's not. I actually laughed at one point when I knew it wasn't meant to be laughed at. So
That's not a good sign.
Was that one of the 2 amusing scenes?
no, there were 2 scenes that I enjoyed. But I laughed at a scene which wasn't intended for laughter.
So we just witnessed a murder on the show today.
And it
Delete that
wasn't
footage.
us. And it wasn't us for leaving
Wow.
our
I'm going to
devices
have to
on.
go give it a watch this weekend, probably late. It's going to be
You should.
a rough weekend for me to see a movie, but
You should.
I kind of have to.
Curious, like pretty curious, but I believe
Here
that
he
I
goes
will
again.
regret it.
Does the mic pick this up?
Hey Jason, real quick, do you know someone named Benjamin? He sent out a hashtag that said AT&T loves Jason.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, whatever.
Jason, you really have a show.
Yeah.
You have
Hello.
a following, dude.
Anyway, yeah. I do like. Oh, that I did announce that on the show. Yeah, that's somebody I met today that actually changed our internet over.
Oh,
I said they were going to watch our show.
oh, sweet.
Hey there, Benjamin.
Thank you
Yeah.
for helping us.
Yes, we can't wait to be on better internet for this show. Anyway,
Thank you for checking it out. That's
Yeah.
like above and beyond.
Yeah.
so
I'm gonna
Venom.
watch. I'm gonna watch Catwoman with Halle Berry instead
Oh.
of going back.
I literally had nightmares.
Oh.
I had a nightmare one time. A bunch of friends took me to a movie and it was Catwoman, and I was like yelling and complaining, and like nobody was listening to me. So it's like that's literally a legit nightmare of mine. So, anyway, so
Oh,
Speaking
I
of
wanted to
just-
mention something real quick. We were talking about Lion King, and we were talking about Whoopi Goldberg, and then the other 2. Yeah, third one was Jim Cummings.
Winnie the
Of
Pooh.
Because of
course.
course. Because Jim Cummings can do anything.
That's why he was around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Cummings did most of Be
Wow.
Prepared. A decent amount of Be Prepared the song. Because Jeremy Irons blew out his voice.
He blew out his voice when he's like, "Oh man, without me."
the man
He
can
blew out
actually
his voice.
he sings a lot of tunes I like. Like I met him one time at a Dallas comic show.
Jim Cummings.
Yeah, Jim
I
Cummings.
met him
was at
recently.
Magic.
Yeah.
He's so sweet.
And
Madness.
he
Yeah.
sang the theme song to
Magic
the animated
Madness.
version of The Mask
What?
because I
Really?
thought it was he sang the first version of it, and I started singing it, and I was like wondering if he would like pick up on it, and we ended up both like singing it at the same time. So it was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, I got you with my winning smile. I'm a living lesson in flair and style. And he was like, and we started singing. I was like, I'm singing with Jim Cummings. And it was a total nerd. And I didn't stop singing, but I swear I started like just a little bit tear.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we
He's
kind
done
of
so many theme songs. Though.
skipped over this. Like he was on set to play Ed from of the Hyenas. We said it. We just kind of skipped
Yeah.
over it. Jeremy Irons blew out his voice. He took up Scar's voice.
The man has
Scar.
the range.
Scar's voice for the remainder of the song, and you literally can't tell the difference.
Like
Not
him
true.
and Rob Paulson have this list of just like names. It's amazing the
It's
voices they do.
Matthew
Insane.
Mercer.
And Matt Mercer is, I feel like he's the next generation of,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can do that. Like, of just
And we know
anything.
him earlier. Like we actually have a face to put on
Yeah.
the voice.
And
Yeah.
Taliesin Jaffe is pretty darn
He
good
can do
at
a
the
crow,
voices
and that's
too.
ridiculous.
We do got to get on with the show because we are doing quick hits though. What did y'all think of the view of Lobo today? going to be on Krypton. What y'all think of the look of Lobo?
I mean, it's kind of cool.
You know what? I want it.
It's a little thirsty, but you know.
I like it. I like it.
Juggalobo.
Juggalo.
I'm ready for that.
I'm okay with
He
it.
looks great.
It makes me
It
want to
looks
actually
good.
watch Krypton.
It does not make me watch Krypton. No, I'm
No?
not
Okay.
surprised. It's just,
All right.
I don't care.
Well, one more quick hit.
Yeah.
Daredevil dropped its season 3 trailer, like a full trailer, which is going to happen in like 2 weeks, by the way. So 2 weeks from now, I'll be like, okay, are we done? Because I'm going to wait up and watch Daredevil.
Oh
It's
yeah,
going to be
same.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
This
Yeah.
is going to be the darkest season of Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio is
D'Onofrio.
So is such a good Kingpin.
He
Yes,
is
he is.
amazing, and I had zero expectations of what his Kingpin would be like at
Yeah.
first, and I didn't even really care about Kingpin as a villain, and then he shows up, and just his subtlety
Perfect.
and his power and his voice is just flawless
And we are
for
seeing
that character.
flat out villain Kingpin here.
Yeah.
White suit and everything. Oh,
We're talking. I am the ill intent.
Whew.
I am the ill intent.
He,
Kingpin. Like
I liked his struggle with his like, oh, I'm not trying to be bad. and
He
trying to
gave that
clean
character
up.
so much depth.
Yeah,
He did.
he really did, and I'm looking forward to all right, I'm the bad guy Kingpin because it's gonna be incredible.
Yes, it is.
Frank Miller, that is iconic. What
Yeah.
he did with that character
Yeah,
in the Daredevil book
And
so
we're getting
long
born,
ago.
this is Born Again.
Yeah, and it's yeah, and I just want to piggyback on what you said. He made that first season for me.
Absolutely.
I mean, every scene he was in, I was
exciting.
amazed. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was so much fun to watch, and he totally embodies that part. So I can't wait for season 3.
It's just going to be so
oh,
good.
with
So-
the white painting and then just sitting there. It was the creepiest thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen. He was just staring at him in shades of white.
But-
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty more news out of New York Comic Con this weekend. Also, we got a new Aquaman trailer. Not Aquaman trailer. Aquaman poster. Looked pretty good. It was the classic orange and green. I mean, it won't do better than Bumblebee, but still.
It's gonna do
Yeah,
better than
well.
Bumblebee.
Sorry
They got G1 characters in this movie. You done brought the Transformers nerds you chased away back.
Oh, hold on. Real quick. What?
Gen 1.
Generation 1.
Okay.
Did they have a?
Is that like what Bumblebee is? Is he like
Do they have a moist?
So
Jason
anyway,
Momoa?
there was also a bunch of toy news, and I'm happy to report that Sean and I are going to be alternate heads starting this Sunday. So you wanna watch-
Yay!
and there's been a lot of toy news already, but the one I'm most excited about is 90s Jubilee from the X-Men. Yes, with the pink shirt, blue shorts, yellow shirt, and some of them clear pink rectangular
That's
shades.
awesome.
Yes.
So I'm getting this now.
I'm getting that.
Next cosplay.
Yeah, it's all new. It's
Jason's
all
not.
90s X-Men. We are getting them. Professor X in the classic yellow wheelchair.
That's
or
your next
hover
cosplay
chair.
though, right?
What, Jubilee?
Jubilee?
No, that's not my name.
Do
That would be
it.
amazing.
There's plenty of toy news. We were looking at an awesome Batman statue, which I'm posting a picture of that on the page once we see. It is a statue. It's Batman in the center, and it is surrounded by several different figures from his Rogues Gallery. I'll
Yeah.
post a picture on the Facebook page and our Instagram. It's awesome. It's gonna be some big news this weekend. So make sure you got it on the Facebook page and the Instagram for more of that news as it breaks.
When
Well,
when you buy that Batman,
I don't even
statue,
like Batman.
right, but I'm saying when you buy it, can we share it? Can we let it go
We'll-
between
we'll
our
be-
homes?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
It's gonna be a custody battle.
front and center. No, like front and center in our show always. Never
It's-
coming off.
Whatever. I'm gonna start bringing my Pachomari. and
Okay.
just sit him right in
Oh, we
front of
should
me.
start bringing our little stuff.
My little
Okay.
plushies.
Bring them.
We have lots of plushies. We have lots of plushies.
Nerd plushies, like little figurine nerd plushies. That's what I'm a
Is there
sucker
room for
for.
plushies on the table?
I don't care.
There's gonna be.
All right.
So
If
we
we
do.
move some of this off of it, we can find lots
Some
of
of
room.
the other
Are you
people.
waving the two
Yeah.
males on this
Little
side of the
bit.
table, or
Yeah.
just?
We do have
I
to get to
wasn't
the
gonna
point of
make
this show.
it gender based.
It is-
sure.
The point tonight was the good, the bad, and please the just stop. So real quick, I want everybody to name. Let's start off with the good. The good. Corey, you got one for us?
What are we talking about with the good?
Remakes.
Good remakes.
Give me a good one.
I didn't think about this.
I'll take
I
one.
can come back. Go
I'll
ahead.
take
Come back
one.
to me later.
Bryce, give me a good one.
All right. Well, does Star Trek: The Next Generation count?
Yes,
No.
it does.
Because the original series was
It's not.
so long ago, and then they brought that
Yes!
back, what, 20 years later?
I mean, it's
It's
not.
It's
It
not
was
a
kind of like a
remake, though.
it was further along in the
All right,
history.
it's a spin-off.
It's a sequel.
It's a spin-off.
Yeah.
All right.
Spin-off.
But we're talking about sequels.
Oh,
anyway,
sequel,
so.
sequel spin-off. Yeah.
I'm gonna actually
Okay,
agree
sorry.
with him because I did not like the old Star Trek. I love Star Trek: The Next Generation though.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan.
Did not like
I
it.
wasn't a huge fan of the original series. I like it, but not a lot. I grew up on Next Generation.
All
I
right,
like
let's
his
talk about
subtlety. His
let's
depth
talk
of
about the Star Trek
character.
reboot movies then.
2009.
I mean, that's a reboot of the original series cast.
First one was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First.
First
the
one?
2009.
for a movie
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes you cry in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the
I know, we
second
got
one.
to see Thor died.
Then the
before
second
he
one
was
did
Thor.
not.
Second one was okay.
Thrill.
I
And
mean-
then third one I didn't like at all.
I liked the third
I
one.
like the third one.
okay.
The second one left me sad that they even attempted what they did. But
Con.
at any rate, yeah.
But
Fine.
Beyond, I like Beyond.
Yeah, I like the first and the third.
I think the third one was more reminiscent of the style of the original Star Trek. It was more like action based
Yes.
and wandering around terrain and
Trying to
just
figure out
that.
what's going on.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Right.
that was a little reminiscent of that style. But I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your good?
My good is probably. Oh, I have a
Disagree
few.
with her.
I have a few that I think are good. I loved the remake of Sabrina. I think the old movie was garbage, and then they put out one with Harrison Ford and Julia Ormond, like
Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear, in like '95 or something. I don't know. It was one of my favorite chick flicks of all time. Like, it's cute and it's funny, and I like it. I dig it. I also like all of the remakes of Chronicles of Narnia have gotten successfully.
Which is how this
Better.
topic came up.
If you don't know, there's an original Chronicles of Narnia cartoon, and look it up because it is god awful.
God
Look up
like,
specifically.
The cartoon Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Tumnus is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Everything he says is just elicits like this dread of the next stage. He comes off completely creepy. Oh, anyway, Chronicles of Narnia is, I grew up on them as well. It's one of my favorite book series of all time to this day. And I think it's funny that C.S. Lewis wrote it just to be a jerk to Tolkien. He was like, I could do that if I wanted to. And then he wrote Chronicles of Narnia, and then he never wrote another interesting fiction.
Yeah. He literally, the iconic lamppost from Chronicles of Narnia is there because Tolkien said that you can never put a lamppost in a fantasy world. And C.S. Lewis was like,
Hold my beer.
They had this lifelong like friendship / rivalry, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Those are
like,
the best kind.
But he wrote that whole series, which I find amazing, and then he went back to writing just dull and trite stuff.
I feel like we should discuss these so we don't run over each other, but I'm going to go ahead because, Cass, what's your good?
one of my goods is, and this is one that both the original and the remake are wonderful for different reasons. And I'm going to go just teeny 1 minute rant.
Go.
All right. So The Evil Dead. The Evil Dead is one of my favorite
Oh,
horror
damn.
franchises of all time. The first Evil Dead is one of the most garbage movies I've ever seen, and I absolutely love it. Bruce Campbell is this amazing, terrible, stupid protagonist named Ashley. And all three of the movies are complete garbage, and I love them so much.
Okay.
They're so campy
Okay.
and stupid and
Army of
wonderful.
Darkness, they leaned
Army of
into
Darkness
it
is
Oh,
so
yeah.
by that
amazing.
point.
And then they made this TV show called Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which is amazing. It ran 3 seasons. Absolutely go ahead and watch it. And then they made a remake. The remake is terrifying. It is legitimately scary. The main chick, I don't remember her name, but the one basically that gets converted first. She's absolutely terrifying in the role. She's really good. They pull off a couple of things that are really gross, but for the most part, it is this scary, interesting, really alive bad guy, and I absolutely love it. I love the whole franchise, everything about it, including Bruce Campbell. He's amazing. But
Ash
the
vs.
remake
Evil Dead is amazing.
is really, it's campy horror comedy. It's really funny.
Look for cosplays of those too. At some point, I'm gonna
At
be
some
like
point.
Sam Raimi, and she's gonna push me around in a little red wagon.
There's a classic shot of it's the evil, and it's going throughout this swamp, and it's close to the ground. It's like and it goes, but really it was Bruce Campbell pushing around his friend Sam Raimi in a little red wagon. I absolutely love this franchise, but I love both the original and I love the remake. I think they're both amazing for entirely different reasons.
Well, there was a really good one from the chat from Ben. Voltron. The Netflix Voltron.
Oh yeah.
That's a really... I to hell with old Voltron, honestly. I love it, but the new show is just so much better.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Thank you, Ben. My good? Spider-Man.
Which?
The newest Spider-Man.
Homecoming.
Homecoming Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, I mean...
It's the best one.
Yeah, we went to 3, and people were not happy with 3.
No.
The Amazing Spider-Man movies, I was okay with them.
I thought
but
they
then,
were better than the original series, but I didn't like the original series.
But this new kid, Tom Holland, came by and he just won my heart.
He's an amazing Spider-Man.
And he's a young man, so we'll have him as Spider-Man for a long time, and I'm so happy about that. Eventually, we'll have adult Peter Parker, starting his. I want to. He can go through the whole thing, the college, and then becoming working for the Daily Bugle. Just go the whole route until he's just old and passing on to a young guy named Miles Morales. So.
Yeah, and he's scared of spiders.
Speaking of which, did anybody see the Enter the Spider-Verse trailer this week?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looks outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was already on board for this movie. And then they threw that in there with Spider-Ham and Spider-Man Noir, and they're all coming from different universes, so...
Spider-Ham.
Since you saw Venom tonight, because that's in there a little bit. But
Yep.
I am so hyped for that. So, yeah, Spider-Man seems to just get better and better.
They did have a good, Dale pointed this out, 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, yeah, that was, and right along with that ran alongside the 90s X-Men cartoon,
Yeah.
which actually you consider that a remake because they did a pilot of the X-Men in the 80s where Wolverine had a strange Australian accent for some
We're
reason.
not going to talk about
80s
And then
X-Men.
Hugh Jackman
We're
played
not-
him without a weird
without an
Australian
Australian
accent,
accent, even though he
funny.
has a weird Australian accent.
That is a damn
I
funny
don't think
coincidence.
we're talking about superhero TV shows before the 90s, though, are we? I don't think we're ever talking about that.
No.
So we don't want to talk about 1960s Spider-Man. We don't want to
Spider-Man and
talk
His Amazing Friends was awesome. To hell what you think. It had Firestar and Iceman.
Just because I have to every time Spider-Man comes up. Stop calling him a photographer.
He's not a photographer.
Or make him a photographer.
He takes
Any
selfies.
Spider-Man, and there's nothing wrong with selfies, but he's
Pays the
a
bills.
photojournalist at best. Any
Okay.
Spider-Man who has access to above the city bird's eye views with his powers and never ever strings a camera up there to get a cool HDR long shot of New York as the sun sets is not a photographer. I'm done.
Yeah, you don't think anybody would instantly go Parker, you could have only gotten this shot if you were in a helicopter or a plane, and yet you get pictures of Spider-Man close up.
A photographer doesn't take pictures purely for the audience.
Okay.
He just needs to put him in his apartment or something. I need any evidence that he took a picture because he was passionate about taking pictures. Ever. Actually, he's not a photojournalist. I'm sorry. He's paparazzi of himself, and that's just weird.
Corey,
That's what
It's a way to make a living.
Corey, did you find it good for us, or
Yeah.
I'm not bashing him for
is
doing
it?
it.
I'm sorry if it was Voltron.
Oh, no, it was not actually. I didn't even think about that.
What was it?
Devilman.
Oh,
Devilman
good choice.
Devilman Crybaby, while it was different from the original, it wasn't bad. It was still really good, and I wish they'd lengthened it a little more. That's my only complaint with it. But it still captured the essence of what Devilman was and was able to still tell the story. It breathed new life into the fandom, even if it was kind of brief. Which, with remakes, that's what you want, is you're wanting to kind of revive that fandom a little bit. You're wanting to kind of show people this franchise again, make money off of it again, because it's a popular name. And the Netflix Devilman was really good with that. I had another one, but I don't think it technically counts as a remake.
Go for it.
Was it Death Note?
No.
No.
God, no. It was Vampire Hunter D.
Oh,
The-
Sure.
yeah.
There's no
I've
rules.
never
I'll put that in the
What
same
you're talking
vein as like Hellsing,
Yeah,
like the Hellsing Ultimates that were like more like the anime or
Yeah.
the manga.
the first movie was actually the 4th book in a 17-book series, which very good series. And they did make a movie back in like the 80s or 90s, I believe it was, and it was, oh god, it was based off the first book, which had me excited because that was one of my favorites, and it was awful. And then they remade Vampire Hunter D and actually made him Vampire Hunter D. So that was interesting, and they actually made it a good movie instead of, well, we have this character, but we're gonna screw everything up about everything. But Vampire Hunter D, watch that.
All right.
Bloodlust. The other one was just Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust is the good one.
I would say good sequels. If you want to talk about like Twilight Zone, they're going to be doing more Twilight Zone, and you've also got the different anthology stuff like Black Mirror. I like that kind of thing.
Twilight Zone's impact on the industry is absolutely
I
undeniable.
will take any more Twilight.
Right.
I will take any
Yeah.
Twilight Zone wherever I can get it.
And they're bringing it back,
So
so you're going to get
scary.
more of that on
Jordan
CBS
Some of
Access.
them are so scary.
Yeah.
Let's burn through the bad. Karate Kid. For a movie I liked. I liked the original Karate Kid.
You didn't like the new one?
Jaden Smith?
I thought it was okay.
I thought it
No,
was alright.
I hate Jaden Smith.
Why?
Strong words.
Principal.
A lot of movies that he's made that are bad.
I think I've literally seen one, and
And
it was Karate Kid. And he
There
was
was the
alright.
one where him and Will Smith were in it, and they're on Earth. Ugh, God.
After
What is it?
After Earth, yeah, that's the
Oh.
one.
Yeah, I didn't see it because it looked stupid.
Some of us don't.
He's not a
think
good
we
actor.
look that
And
bad.
I thought everybody was like endearing because they're like, oh, he's a cute kid. And I'm just like, I hate this kid. That literally at one point in the movie, I think I just said out loud, I hate this kid.
Fair enough.
And I did. And so, yeah, I absolutely hate that movie for something that I really liked and they made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that he doesn't really act anymore. He just says dumb stuff on Twitter. And
That is true.
He also
And I could-
he runs fashion something, doesn't he?
sure, whatever.
He does some fashion stuff,
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
probably.
Show me
He
where
just is
where can you buy his line of clothing?
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly.
You know where everyone
Probably
else buys things online? Some of us don't get all mad at brick and mortar things not being
I was about to
there.
say, what's that douchebag chain that hipsters always go to? Urban Outfitters.
Oh
That's
my
probably
God.
where you buy his stuff.
I've
You
never
can
walked
just
in this
wait
store. So
3 weeks and go to Buffalo Exchange and get it for $1.50.
the only good thing about that movie was Jackie Chan
Same
because it's Jackie Chan.
Jackie
Uh,
Chan was his scene, like his breakdown scene, was very sad.
Yeah.
Do we need to mention the obvious thing about Karate Kid that Aaron mentioned?
Huh?
He's not teaching him karate.
Yeah. I know. He's not teaching him karate in the original movie either. So
But he says he is.
I
And in the new
know.
one, he's like, "Oh, we're going to karate." He's like, no, kung fu. But we're
it was
still
the
gonna call you
80s.
the Karate
Everything
Kid.
was generalized. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
They
like
couldn't
no,
call
I'm
it
actually
the
doing
Kung
tiger
Fu
style kung
Kid.
fu. Nobody cared.
The
Anyway.
kung fu. I would watch the kung fu.
If they called it the Kung Fu Kid, it was going to sound like somebody who didn't have the rights to the Karate Kid tried to make a $7 movie in their basement.
It's true.
Bryce, give me the bad.
All right, bad. That's there's a long list. Spawn, Hercules in New York with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You're supposed to pick one thing.
One.
No,
Just
I'm,
one.
I'm here
Keep
for
going.
it. List
No,
it out.
all
Just
right,
list them.
okay, and then let's talk about Captain America, Red Brown. He did 2 movies in the 70s: Sentinel of Liberty, Death Too Soon, and
We can forget about those.
I don't want to forget about it. Who doesn't want to be a patriotic superhero? This guy in that movie. Who uses flag, full latent ability gain? This guy. Who's slow and dull and rarely throws a punch? That guy in those 2 movies.
I can forget about that. We've got
Chris.
Chris Evans now, so he's
Right.
my Captain America.
Well,
We
yeah,
have to talk about
Yeah.
the bad. We're talking about bad.
talking about
Go
remakes.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. And who spends more time out of costume than in?
Mm.
Red Brown in those movies. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, there was one cool thing. He had a motorcycle that turned into a hang glider that also turned into a motorcycle again. So that was kind of cool.
That was probably the worst part.
But it was funny.
Oh God. I forgot how bad those movies were.
Yeah.
Cat, give me the
Okay.
bad.
This is an unpopular opinion. I do not like live action remakes that Disney's doing. I didn't really like The Jungle Book. I found the way that the animals tried to talk very, very distracting with the mouth trying to move with the words. It just looked weird. And I would rather have them just, I don't know, what is it?
Telepathically.
Yeah, I'd rather have telepathic ones almost than that. Mouths moving. Their mouths couldn't make that sound. It gets all in my head. I don't like it. And the Beauty and the Beast one, I have not seen very much of because the second you watch it, any of it, you hear the audio edits and it's bad.
Especially Emma Watson. Her
Like,
first line is so auto-tuned.
they
it's
hired
distracting.
Broadway caliber talent, Broadway performing talent to play a lot of the roles, and I watched a little bit of the first song and I watched a little bit of Be Our Guest, and they auto-tuned the crap out of them. You don't have to do that with Broadway caliber talent, so why did they? I don't like the live action that I've seen, and I'm not excited about new ones. I love the originals in both of those cases. I don't want to see your garbage live action remakes. It's a cash grab. I don't like it.
Fantastic Four. And even though they haven't come out, I'm gonna go ahead and save them. There's a new Robin Hood coming out that's
Oh,
going
God.
to be trash.
Somebody asked that in the chat, by the way.
There is a live action Lilo and Stitch that's coming out, and it's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen.
I'm done.
calling it right now.
I'm
That's
done.
it. That's me. Cor?
I've just got one. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh.
I apparently it was closer to the book, which okay, that's cool. I didn't like it at all. I'm really not a big fan of Johnny Depp anymore. I like some of his older work, and I think this was awful. This was not good work from him, especially when he has to live up to the image of Gene Wilder. And
Trista from the chat said, I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that about Jungle Book. I love
Yeah,
that.
and I meant fair about the 18 movie, which the chat brought up.
I mentioned Trista because
thank you.
I think you broke her when you said Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
did she agree?
It's just letters that just popped up. I
It
don't
was Lilo and Stitch. She's
Probably
upset
Lilo
about
and
that broke her?
Lilo and
Okay.
Stitch.
I just came across the story, and I'm already so upset about it.
All right. So, okay.
Gene
Wow.
was the man. Thank you, Aaron.
So, the just stop. Like, we don't want this. I mean, this is full stop, never again. We're not going to touch it again.
Speaking of just stop, we know we're running a little bit over. Thanks for anyone who wants
Okay,
to hang
we're
with
only
us.
going to be a couple minutes. So,
Yeah.
this is going to be a very unpopular one. The Joker. Stop.
Do you want them to stop doing Joker movies?
I don't want any more different versions of the Joker. I don't.
Who's the best?
Live action.
Yeah.
It's a hard toss-up between Nicholson and,
Cesar Romero,
well, no, and
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. So, it's a hard toss-up between those two.
Heath Ledger was
I'm
amazing.
done, though. I'm done. After the Suicide Squad one, and look, Joaquin Phoenix is a fine actor. And this is a standalone movie, fine. I'm done with different versions.
I think I'm done getting excited about new ones.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's my just stop. I'm good. From the chat before we move on, just stop X-Men. No Dark Phoenix. Wow. But they're going back to Marvel, whatever.
Dale, you're right. They do need to stop making Robin Hood movies, and I'm not excited about this next one.
Bryce, just stop.
Dukes of Hazzard.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
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 That's a good choice, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with no more Footloose too.
Even if it's DDR.
Gotta get techno, footloose.
Cat, give me a just stop.
honestly, Spider-Man. Like, I like
Okay,
Tom
I
yeah.
Holland.
like the
Okay, we're good with Tom
He's
Holland.
like
Yeah.
grandfathered in,
All right.
but I don't want another like reboot.
Like I
of
said,
it.
he's like 21. We got him for a
Yeah.
couple of years.
And as long as
Keep
we
upping
can
his
keep
paychecks.
him, I'm great with Spider-Man being a part of the universe. I don't want to see. And if they need to replace him at some point, like in the future, that's fine. But I
I'll
don't
be
want
old
to
by
see
then.
another origin story of Spider-Man getting his power. He got bit by a spider. We get it. He's in love with a girl from high school. We get it. Like, I'm done.
All right. Uh-oh. Why are you looking at me?
So I'm gonna need you to just for like 20 seconds, okay? All right? Because this is a little bit more generic one. Stop making movies where there's a kid and they're misunderstood and they're really sad and then they come across a robot or a monster or a dragon or a giant dog or a something and they connect with the giant. Oh, it's so sad. And then there's there's like some government dude that wants to take away the monster or the robot or the monster in a truck or the sentient whatever. And then, oh no, and then they escape into the wild. Stop making that movie.
You're just sick of that trope.
Harry and Henderson.
I'm thinking specifically of Bumblebee. That's what Bumblebee is.
Giants.
That's what the Transformers have been since they started making them again. I'm thinking of Iron Giant. I'm thinking of they remade Pete's Dragon.
I don't like you.
Stop making that movie.
Or at least change up
I'm
the
so
boy
tired of
or
that
the
movie.
creature. It could be a girl. That would be
and
slightly
Bumblebee's
better.
gonna be a girl.
Yeah, Haley
That's
Steinfeld.
better.
But I still don't care. Stop making that movie. I'm so tired of that movie.
Where are you going to release the robot into his natural habitat?
Seriously, stop making that movie.
Unless it's
Stop
Big
making
Hero
King Kong.
6.
Like, stop.
But he
making,
could fight Godzilla again.
Yes.
Stop making that
No.
movie. I'm tired
Okay.
of that movie.
Cora, give me a just stop.
Alright, so I actually changed mine from what I was going to do because thinking about it, it was going to be Narnia, but actually thinking about it, it's been a few years since we've had them. Like, I haven't seen them since high school, and that was the movies that we got more recently. But I changed it to a more broad topic, kind of like Cass. Can y'all stop remaking Asian movies and remaking anime into a live action and completely destroying it? I am looking at you, The Grudge,
Well,
The Ring, the upcoming Train to Busan,
preach.
Akira. They've still got that.
Is that the one with the scary giant eyes?
No.
There's one with scary giant eyes that just came out.
What's the big eyes
It's a
one?
remake.
Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made an American one.
Battle Angel Alita, like
Ooh.
Ghost in the Shell. I could just keep
Ooh.
going on. Like, I would like these if I'd been proven before that you could do it right. And I haven't seen that at all.
I think The
'Cause-
Grudge was okay.
The Grudge was okay, but a lot of the things that they're not paying attention to is the fact that why is this movie scary? Why is this Asian movie scary? It's because of how Asian film is filmed and how it's paced, everything like
go
that.
Watch Jackie
And then-
Chan's who is it? The guy that does the why the comedies aren't funny or whatever. Anyway, there's a YouTube video.
Every frame of painting.
Every Frame of Painting does a video on why Jackie Chan's fight scenes, for instance, are more interestingly shot and how it's better accomplished. Like some directors need to go watch that.
Yeah.
There's some great stuff in the chat.
Yeah, I keep seeing it.
Because, like,
Just stop making that movie.
just stop.
Or at least pay attention.
Yeah, if you're going to remake this, like, with Akira, because Akira is really important to me. It was the first actual adult anime that I actually ever watched, and it screwed me up for a while because it's very trippy, but it's great. There are a lot of things in that movie plot-wise and environmentally-wise that are very Asian, and to take it out of that environment and put it into America is a little iffy, but you would have to completely change the environment and change a lot of the different things that, like, a lot of the little things to make it work.
Get some Asian culture consultants.
Yeah, I know that the creator for Akira is on board with this movie. Like, I'm gonna focus on this one now, more specifically. Like, he's okay with it, and that makes me okay with it too, because I trust the director, or I trust the creators. But he may also not have all the information, so that's where the iffy part comes in. But if they can make it right, cool. I'll be happy with that. But I've never been proven that can be done right. The only live-action Asian thing I've ever seen done correctly and done well wasn't even American. It was still Asian. That was the Ace Attorney movie.
Oh.
It's still the only video game movie I've ever watched, and I didn't cringe.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Dragon Ball movie.
Silent Hill.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding.
Silent Hill was also good, but it wasn't very faithful to
It
its.
wasn't accurate.
It wasn't accurate to
but
its
I
source
was
material,
there.
but I will give it this. It did have the environmental feel that it should have.
And the monsters.
Yes.
I'm not done until I get my Ninja Scroll movie. Remake
want a
I love
live
this
action
girl.
live
Ninja
action.
Scroll?
I honestly love the passion from the Facebook chat about as soon as Akira was mentioned. Like people are like, wait, what?
Oh yeah. Oh
My
yeah.
whole thing is that Japanese are the most generous about their culture that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They invite other people to experience it, to live it with them. Like, if you go to Japan, they want to share their traditions, their temples, their culture with you. So it couldn't have been that hard
Yeah.
to find somebody who would tell you about Japanese culture in Japanese cases of movies being made and tell you about it so you didn't screw it up when you made the movie.
What they need to do over in Japan is start stealing our shows and remaking them over there.
They do.
I'd be
Like
on board.
Japanese Seinfeld.
They've
Oh
done
man.
You know you would watch
some-
it.
They've
I
done,
would.
I
they've
wouldn't
done
watch
some
any
of that.
version of
Or
Seinfeld.
Friends.
Friends, I would watch. I think that would be fun.
There are some really
They do
interesting.
some
Look
of
up
that.
Japanese remakes of anything you want.
Oh,
And they're
I-
frequently there. They're frequently subtitled back into English, and they're frequently
They
hilarious.
do that a lot with superheroes.
Yes, they do.
They have I mean, all over. You can see like a Turkish Spider-Man, and a lot of him is green. And it's really funny.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
my
great.
god,
I
it's
love
beautiful.
He's in a green costume?
The parts regularly that are blue on Spider-Man are just green instead. It's great, and he fights Captain America. Why? Nobody knows.
Sometimes they
Because
don't
you
get
can't
along.
sue us for copyright infringement.
Well, the green is
Come after us for over
a
here.
lot of that is from analog TV signals, and
It just
from
looks bad.
color not being interpreted correctly, going that way, so they can't think they did it right if they're still using analog TV, and just that alone is hilarious to me.
All right, well, we run 10 minutes over, and Cora loses her mind for every minute we go over. So, thank you all for joining us this evening for another awesome show. We will be back next week, same time, same YouTube channel and Twitch and Facebook. But while you're here, go ahead and follow us at some of the links you see down below on those pages, especially this weekend. NYCC, we're going to be putting out a lot of news. Look for Alternate Heads to come back this week. And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at JasonTheX on Instagram and Twitter.
Please follow me at Bryce Culver on Facebook and Instagram. And I also have a toy Instagram page. It's called Trapdoor Toys. Check it out.
Watch the Spock episode.
Yeah.
Find me on Instagram at BetterCat. Lately, it's been a lot of me painting minis and taking pictures of them. I'm having fun.
They look really good too.
Thanks.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Cass_Bradley. That's KAS_Bradley with a Y. And you can find both Kat and I occasionally.
When we remember.
Would remember reviewing super quick movie reviews at Super Quick Movie on Twitter.
They're hilarious. We're very clever.
Sometimes.
Cora, you won't be here next week. I'll be running the board. So as you go away to a faraway land, like Bryce just came back from.
Yep. And if you want to follow me on my adventures in the land of maple syrup and mousse, you can follow me on Twitter at Hawks Perch, or you can follow me on Instagram while I'll be updating my story when possible at Korodono, KORODONO. I will not stop my Sweekend and Spam on Twitter, by the way, just so you know, and there will be some Inktober stuff going up as well. Just an FYI.
All right. So thank you for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week. And as we always say around here, keep on
nerding.
Keep on nerding.
Our dad is watching.
Our dad is watching.
When you
Really
go
just
see
say that
Venom,
now.
take your laundry. Fold it.